Those are the areas that are typically the big winners when it comes to the big snow. As we look across sections of western Pennsylvania, western New York, you can still see some snow showers there. Parts of Pennsylvania saw anywhere from a half foot to a foot of snow already. And remember, it's still coming down out there across the area. So that's going to be something that we'll see by the time all is said and done. Do we get over a foot in more than one or several locations out there across western PA? Binghamton, you're reporting the snow. Syracuse reporting rain at 35 degrees right now, but we've seen the snow around the area. Boston, windy and cold, 37 degrees, but with the wind feels colder than what the thermometer is saying. Buffalo, windy at 40 degrees. We look at the estimated snowfall over the past 2 days. I mentioned some of those higher totals isolated across northwest PA. We look at parts of southwest New York, usually a big spot when it comes to the accumulations, and sure enough, 5 to 8 inch totals there, north and south of Syracuse, but particularly north up there on the Tug Hill Plateau. We look at Syracuse's forecast, watching for that chilly rain to persist. Some snow showers around, so depending on elevation, where you are in relation to Syracuse, some of you will be looking at the snow showers. But chilly rain, man, I think people in Syracuse would say, you know what, I'd prefer the snow, please. We look at what's happening here as we move forward in time. We're going to be watching for more snow showers, more rain showers, depending on where you are. As we get into the late evening and overnight, now portions of New England really begin to get in on those snow showers, working over to coastal sections of Maine as we head into tomorrow morning. And then we've got tropical weather still to talk about. Send it over to Mark Elliott, our storm specialist, and to Ada very closely. Stay tuned. We'll have more updates. Want to bring you back here. Huge swells, blustery conditions, not exactly ideal kayaking weather along the Great Lakes, but that will not stop some people from getting out there like that guy. And it's not just windy. Temperatures in South Haven, Michigan, topped out in the mid-40s. So windy, choppy, and very cold. But again, there are some tough folks out there like that guy or gal getting in the kayak. We look at some of the top wind reports that came in during this weekend event. 74 miles an hour there at Standard Rock, Michigan. Big Bay, Michigan, 71. Copper Harbor, 70 mile per hour wind gust. And at Hovland, Minnesota, upper 60 mile per hour range. Grand Haven, Michigan, right around 60 miles per hour. So really, really strong winds kicking across the region. Unfortunately, this weekend made it feel awfully chilly. Now into the Northeast, that's where we've got the wind. Buffalo gusting to 36 miles an hour. So it feels colder than what your thermometer is telling you. And those wind gusts down into Philadelphia. So even outside of areas that are not getting the snow, you're still getting the wind. In Worcester, your forecast high today or tomorrow is 40 degrees. The record cold high, 38. So tomorrow we're keeping things awfully chilly, and we're going to be in record territory. That's how chilly we are. Bangor, Maine, I think you're going to get that record low high temperature. Forecast is 37. The record is 38. So it would be the coldest high temperature you've had for that date on record. Happens to be election day. If you are headed to the polls, make sure you are, going to be comfortable in whatever you've got with you if you have to wait outside for a little while. Wind chill forecast tomorrow morning. Take a look. 26 in Albany, 33 Harrisburg and New York. So this is the feels like temperature when you factor in the wind and the actual air temperature. Pittsburgh feeling like 50 tomorrow afternoon, feeling like 46 in New York, feeling like 35 in Boston, feeling like 20 up in Caribou. Mike. Breeze. Going to be warm out there across sections of the West, and we'll show you some pretty impressive numbers for some of those areas. Maybe you've been looking for, some peaceful weather. You've already gone through your fair share of cold and wintry, so we're going to give you a little bit of a break. We're going to press pause on how bad it's been. Last Tuesday, 0 degrees was your record-setting low temperature. Tomorrow, 70 your high. That is a mostly sunny, easy peasy, oh boy, how things have changed kind of forecast, right? Could you imagine last Tuesday when you were sitting at 0 that you would be looking at 70 next week? Denver, we've got 4, the actual low last Tuesday, and tomorrow we'll see a high of 76 degrees under mostly sunny skies. And in Little Rock, Arkansas, today you're going to be at 61. By Friday, highs near 70. So here's a place where you just get that slow rise through the week. And in St. Louis, today's highs around 60. We'll end the week with highs in the low 70s, and we'll keep the sunny days going. How about a place like Omaha? Let's watch the progression for you and what you're up against this week in terms of temperatures. By Tuesday, we're looking at a high of around 76 degrees. So tomorrow, very easy going for your election day. 71 on Wednesday. We had a few extra clouds, but we keep the sunshine. Thursday and Friday, temps in the low to mid 70s. Again, easy peasy. All right, Saturday, that's when things get a little tricky. Clouds will return. It'll be a gusty, but temperatures don't drop much. We'll be topping out in the low 70s. Mike? Cold, miserable rain. I like the sound of lake effect snow better, right? Don't you? Look at the estimated snowfall over the last 2 days. Big winner has been the Tug Hill Plateau, but you can see some other spots up there in northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, portions of Maine, upper parts of lower Michigan, where we've seen some 5 to 8+ inch totals. And the snow continues to come down across the region. We look at what's happening here around Buffalo, Syracuse, up towards Watertown. Now, Watertown, you've got snow. Areas north of Syracuse, you have snow, but for Syracuse, central New York, you've got a cold rain, 35 degrees. Oh, it's uncomfortable. We've seen some of those snow showers over near Rochester, south of Batavia, around Geneseo. And again, Syracuse, at times you've seen some snow showers around town, and you've also seen the very cold rain. So watching that temperature there throughout the atmosphere, depending on what precip type you're getting. But I know those of you getting snow, I want you to look at Syracuse, 35 and cold rain, and maybe be thankful for that snow you're getting, because I can tell you and assure you, if you have to go out today, maybe you got to run to the grocery store, drop off that absentee ballot, cold rain is what you don't want to go up against. In Burlington, Vermont, it's just snow for you. So cold temps and snow, very manageable. Temps in the low to mid 30s with winds gusting up to 30 miles an hour into tomorrow morning. And there you have it. Let's get you some election day forecast here as we make our way to the polls. I know a lot of people have voted early, but a lot of us just say, you know what? I like to do it on election day, be part of the process, and should not have many big weather problems. The problems are going to be maybe you're a little chilly, but for a lot of spots, gosh, near perfect weather out there tomorrow. New York City, one of the spots that will be chilly, little breezy in the morning, temps in the 40s, so it'll feel a little bit colder than that. And as we get into the afternoon, you see not much warming, high of around 50 degrees with temps cooling back into the 40s this evening. We look at the forecast for Honolulu tomorrow, and you can see this is another spot where we've got no weather problems whatsoever. No rain, no snow, no nothing. And in the spirit of election day, we want you getting the snow, but you may be wishing you're getting the snow because in other locations, it's just a chilly rain. So you can see here across parts of central New York, North Country, we've got the snow, particularly up there on the Tug Hill Plateau. Now, the radar is showing snow around Syracuse. Syracuse reporting rain at 34 degrees. Oof, that is a tough forecast. You know, again, I think a lot of places would go, give me snow any day of the week if it's going to be in the low to mid 30s, because rain at that temp is awfully miserable. You head down 81 to Binghamton, southern tier New York, you've got snow showers at 31 degrees. We've seen snow piling up across parts of northeast Ohio, getting into western PA, portions of central New York, northern New York, and then getting up into the higher elevations up there in northern New England, parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and also Maine. Syracuse, we're going to keep that chilly rain going along with some gusty winds. Look at these gusts by late tonight, early tomorrow. Could be gusting 40 to 50 miles an hour. So that could even lead some tree limbs down. Any foliage that's still left on the trees might be blowing around. And if it's trash day, I would just wait until tomorrow morning. Don't put it out the night before. You're going to be chasing everything down the street. So get up a couple minutes early and roll it out to the street before you head into work tomorrow. Or if you're working from home, just do it when you get up, right? We look at the future forecast, and you can see that snow will begin to overspread portions once again in northern New England. So northern half of Vermont, northern half of New Hampshire, getting into Maine. You've got snow showers overnight. Coastal sections of Maine, including Bangor areas over near the coast, you've got snow to start the day tomorrow. Waning as we head into the mid and late morning, though, so a lot of the snow will be tapering off by breakfast time for you to check into work. Snowfall still to come. Most areas looking at 1 to 3 inches. Some spots up there in northern Vermont, North Country, New York, getting into northern New Hampshire could be in that 3 to 5 with some isolated 5 to 8 inch totals. Talking about snow, but still talking tropics, too. Mark, we're starting November on quite a note.
Oh, my God.
Back stateside up around the Great Lakes, the headline has been the cold and the wind. And those winds have really kicked up some serious surf on Lake Michigan. Take a look at these waves. This is South Haven, Michigan. So the lakes were churning. A lot of our viewers sending in pictures of that as well. And then again, it's cold, and those winds just make it feel even colder. Then you get hit with a little bit of that water coming from that wave action. Ooh, really uncomfortable. Look at weekend wind gusts, anywhere from 60 to 74 miles per hour across portions of Michigan, also the state of Minnesota. So up there in the Arrowhead had some really strong gusts as well. Right now we've got the gusts in places like Buffalo, 41 mile per hour gusts for you, 28 mile per hour gusts in Boston, and in that 16 mile per hour range for Albany. So not quite as strong there in the Capital District, but Western New York, those winds are rocking and rolling. Temperatures tomorrow will remain very chilly, and morning especially will remain a bit breezy to gusty depending on where you are. And I think some of these areas are going to be looking at a record cold high temperature. So the lowest the high temperature has ever been for that date. We look at the record cool highs tomorrow, 38 for both Worcester and Bangor. Worcester, you're going to be close. Bangor, I actually think you're going to get it. Caribou, we've got 31, your forecast high. You're going to be close. That record cold max temperature is 29. And in Burlington, again, within a degree, 36 the forecast, 35 the record cold high temperature. Tomorrow morning, or rather tonight, you get ready to head to bed, and you can see those temperatures already dropping into the 20s in Albany, teens up there in Caribou. By tomorrow afternoon, not recovering much in a place like Albany, barely making it to freezing by mid-afternoon. Buffalo in the low 40s. Pittsburgh, you'll fall into the 30s as you sit down to watch the evening news, head to dinner, and same story as you get into the overnight and morning hours of Wednesday. So another cold start to the day coming your way Wednesday. We look at the Boston forecast, 44 your high on Tuesday. We'll make it back up to 52 on Wednesday. That's pretty close to average in the mid-50s, and then actually a bit above average as we head into our Thursday. Highs up there near 63. Mike? And that includes places out west who have had their fair share of chilly weather, even snow, getting in on some warmer than average temperatures, easing you into the month of November, right? We look at Cheyenne, Wyoming. First 10 days of October, you had an average temp, so that's the average of the high and the low, ended up being about 10 degrees or almost 10 degrees above average. Wasn't quite how we ended the month of October. Your average temperatures were 15 degrees below average. So yeah, it's kind of like March. It went in like a lamb, out like a lion. And Cheyenne, you're going into November on a good note, though. Last Tuesday, remember that low, record low of 0. Tomorrow, how about a high of 70 degrees? The record is 70. So I think we're going to be looking at going from record lows to record highs within 1 week. Minneapolis, take a look at your actual highs last week to end the month. We saw highs above and a little bit below the freezing mark, and then one day right at the freezing mark. Forecast highs this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How about mid and upper 60s? Going to be downright balmy there in Minneapolis. Remember, you had snow a few times already. In Rapid City, South Dakota, 17 on the 25th of October, 14 on the 26th of October. Your actual high on the 27th was 40. Take a look at this week. How about highs in the 70s? Boy, how things have changed. So you went through the cold. You get a little bit of a mild payoff here coming your way. October temperatures were chilly across a lot of the nation's midsection, particularly up there in the northern tier. Sections of Montana, the Dakotas, Minnesota were awfully chilly. And when we look at November, for much of the country, actually expecting above average temperatures, particularly in the southwest, south central, and the northeastern part of the country. But I would say, 95% of the country looking at those above average temperatures for the month. So let's look at a place like Omaha, Nebraska. As we take a peek at your forecast here over the next few days, warmth will reign here in eastern Nebraska as well, and lots of sunshine too. So we've got low 70s, or rather mid 70s on Tuesday, low 70s on Wednesday. We'll stay in the low 70s, keep it sunny on Thursday, back to the mid 70s, more sunshine on Friday. Now Saturday, all right, so the clouds return, wind picks up, but temperatures aren't going down much. We're going to see those highs stay in the low 70s. So some pretty easy, mild weather headed your way for Omaha. Mike? We have a lovely lady up there, Carolyn, who oftentimes will post some great pictures. If you love snow, you'll have to check her out. Estimated snowfall over the last 2 days. It is the Tug Hill where we have seen accumulations exceeding a foot. So that's been the big jackpot in terms of the snowfall accumulations. But portions of Ohio and Michigan, Pennsylvania and New York, all the way up into our New England states have at least been seeing some of that accumulating snow. And right now it's generally focused across parts of central and north country New York, and overnight we'll be moving into, once again, northern New England. So we look down around the Finger Lakes. We've seen some snow showers there. Around Geneseo, some spotty rain showers. Batavia, Rochester, you're drying out. Maybe over on the east side of Rochester, a few spotty rain showers. Syracuse, you've been reporting cold rain, even though based on the radar, looks like snow is coming down. Some snow continues across western PA. There were a few isolated spots that picked up anywhere from a half foot to a foot of snow there across the northwestern part of PA. And in Burlington, snow picks up for you as we head into the overnight hours. The other story will be the gustier winds. Winds gusting up to 30 miles an hour during the early morning hours. So it's going to take those temps in the mid 30s, make it feel even colder. And then, of course, you've got the snow as you maybe head to the polls in the morning. Timing this out for us, so things wind down across parts of New York. Again, it's portions of northern New York and New England that will see the snow into the overnight hours. Mike? Well, as you know, tomorrow is Election Day, and if you didn't know, I don't know where you've been. We get you some forecasts for some cities, including New Haven, Connecticut, the birthplace of George W. Bush. Temperatures tomorrow morning in the 40s, afternoon still in the 40s, a little breezy at times, particularly through those AM hours. We look at the Election Day forecast across the region, and chilly will be the name of the game into sections of the Northeast. Any snow limited to northern parts of New England, maybe a little stretch there through sections of New York State, but most of the region partly cloudy to mostly sunny. Then as we get you to lunchtime, Pittsburgh, you're sitting at 48, 50 in New York, and still chilly at 6 o'clock. You can see those temperatures staying pretty similar throughout the day. How about in the Midwest? We've got 37 in Chicago in the morning. Afternoon temperatures rising to near 60 degrees. Going to be comfortable by the evening. 60s, not bad across the Midwest. And in the spirit of Election Day, no per season, so they are used to it. All right, so Oswego, you've got the rain, and Redfield on the other side of 81. You can see how that area of rain is kind of eking to around and over I-81. Syracuse showing snow here on the radar, but reports at the ground saying it's a rain. And it's 34 degrees. It's a miserable rain coming down this Monday. That is Monday weather personified, if I ever said so myself. Binghamton, you're at 30. You've got the snow, so an hour's drive down to 81. We go from the cold rain to the snow. And the snowfall footprint kind of shows some of those usual suspect lake effect locations, northern parts of lower Michigan, western New York and PA, eastern Ohio, getting into central New York, up to the North Country, especially the Tug Hill Plateau. That's where some areas have picked up over a foot of snow. And then